Well, hello Lapidary lovers, rock tumbling fanatics. Mike here. Welcome back to my channel. The lighting is very harsh out here. Sorry, um, but today what I want to do is I want to see what's going on inside my big 12-pound tumbler up there. Um, that's the tumbler I use for rough. For most things, everything that's in rough is in there. I mean, I do have a few special projects going on these smaller tumblers where I don't want to mix the stuff in with the 12 pounds of stuff that's being roughed up there. But most of the stuff that I do in rough is up here. And this has been tumbling for weeks now, and I want to open it up, dump it out, clean everything off, and see what's ready to move on to medium grit. I don't want to over tumble some of this stuff and make it too small. There's some really pretty rocks in there, and I don't want to tumble them away to nothing. So, unfortunately, I don't have a tumbler that's for medium grit for right now, but I just want to get whatever's out ready to move on out of there, put some more stuff in it, and get it spinning again. And I'll just hold on to the stuff that came out of there until I do have a tumbler that's free to do medium grit, which may happen in the next week or so. This tumbler here is in polish, final stage, so that'll probably be done in a week or so. But until then, I just don't want this to tumble for another week with what's in it, because I'm sure a lot of these rocks in here are ready to move forward, and I just don't want it to tumble away to nothing. So let me dump that out and clean them off, and we'll look at them under the lights and sort them out and see what's ready to move on and what needs to go back in there. At the end, we'll put some fresh rough rocks in there and some more grit, and we'll get it tumbling again. So let me get this cleaned out. All right, let's see if I can do this without making a mess of it and spilling the stuff all over the ground here, because there's a lot in here. Oh yeah, I need a bigger colander. That's mostly just tumbling media in there. All right. So there should be some really pretty rocks in here by now. I'm not going to worry about cleaning the tumbler out too well because I'm just going to put more stuff in it in rough grit. So, oh yeah, there's some good stuff here, let me tell you. What in the world is that? I have no clue what that is. Huh. A little piece of white on one side, black on the other stone. I have no idea where that came from. Must have spalled off of something else. All right, let me clean these up a little more, and we'll look at them under the lab lights and see what's worthy of going on and see what needs to go back into the rough for a while longer. But I'll give you a look at them here. There's some pretty stuff there. Okay, so here we are over at the lab bench under the lights. We'll take a close-up look at these rocks and see what we've got here. And I've got two buckets here. Well, I've got a bucket and the tumbler. Anything that's not ready to move on to medium grit will go right back in here where it came from. And the stuff that is ready to move on will go in this bucket, which is about half full of water. I want to keep these rocks wet, the ones that are moving on, until I can get them through my ultrasonic cleaner to get all of the rough grit out of the nooks and crannies on them. So I don't want them to dry out and have that rough grit harden up like concrete in their nooks and crannies. So I will keep them wet until they can get clean. Let me move the camera and zoom in a little, and we'll take a look at what we got here and decide what is ready to move on and what is not. So, can I zoom in any more? A little bit more. Okay. Good focus. Alrighty. So right on top, we've got this agate. Found this in Wyoming. It's about as flat as a pancake, but somehow I managed to split it right down the middle. Got some cool coloration on this side, and you can see the fortification banding inside on this side. The fortification banding is white, whereas it's got some interesting colors everywhere else. So I threw half of it in here just to see what would happen, and I'm kind of liking the way it's looking. I don't think it's quite ready to move on yet. This backside is still very rough in spots. I mean, I know it'll never clean up totally, but it could be a little better. So I think we'll let it tumble for a little while longer. So this goes back in the barrel over here. What do we got here? We got a slice of, that is banded iron. I didn't know if it was banded Jasper or banded iron, but I see the bands of hematite in it now. There's a lot more Jasper than hematite in this, but this is banded iron. This one, very smooth, very well rounded, no rough spots. I would say that one could move on. That one's nice. Okay. Here's a piece of petrified wood. This is a piece of petrified wood I got at the Dobell Ranch. I have a video on collecting petrified wood at the Dobell Ranch. And this piece has just amazing blues, blacks, reds, orange, yellows in it. So I tumbled a big chunk of it. In my 12-pound tumbler barrel over here, I can tumble big stuff. So, you know, why not try tumbling some big stuff? So, is it ready to go on? I would say this is ready to go on too. I found that the fully agatized petrified wood actually finishes the rough stage pretty quickly. So I would say this is ready to go on. Put that in the bucket of water over there. Oh, okay. So here's some petrified wood as well. This, again, is some fully agatized petrified wood. I'm pretty sure I got this at the Dobell Ranch, too. It's got some amazing colors in it, some patterns. I don't know how well it's showing up out here into these lights, but it's got this brilliant neon red circular pattern in it, and just like moss and plumes and all kinds of stuff. So, if I'm honest, though, I don't think it's ready to move on. I think it's very rough around the edges still. I think this needs to be in the tumbler for a little while longer. But it's getting close. It's getting very close. So maybe not too much longer. What do we got here? We got some purple Jasper. No, purple agate. That's right. Purple agate with some actually orange and red and yellow in it too. But it's mostly sort of a dark purple. I got this at a rock shop in Thermopolis, Wyoming. That's where I got this purple agate. That's right. I remember now. I would say this is ready to move on. It is very smooth, very rounded, very, very smooth. No rough edges, no pits, no cracks. That's ready to move on. I see them starting to dry out here. What have we got here? Look at this agate. Look at that. This is an agate, or a slab of agate, actually, that I bought at a rock shop in Crawford, Nebraska. That's right. Crawford, Nebraska is where I got this. Yeah. And it was a big slab. And it was the end, I guess. They couldn't do much with it. And they had it in their remnant bin. I bought it and got it cheap. And I thought, well, let me just cut it in half, because this half is interesting and this half is interesting, but in the between there's nothing very good. So, and I just, out of interest, threw it in the tumbler to see how it's coming out. And oh my goodness, look at that. I hope that is showing up good. Look at that pattern. I don't know. It looks like, I don't know, a supernova explosion, Indian headdress. I don't know. Use your imagination, whatever you want to call that. I probably should have cut this lip off before I put it in there, but I didn't think of it. But I'll tell you what, I think this is ready to move on. I don't want to take a chance of tumbling off any more of this wonderful moss or the plumes in there. I think that is ready to go on. It's very smooth. This is the money side right here. I suppose I can rework the other side later if I wanted to make a cabochon out of it or something. But yeah, I think we're going to move this one on rather than tumble it more, because this is amazing, and I don't want to ruin it. Okay. I can see right off the bat this chunk of petrified wood is not ready to go. It's still way too rough. Now, some of the stuff has only been in here a couple of weeks or less. And some of this stuff has been in here for a month or more. So, yeah, we're going to run across some rough pieces that haven't been in here nearly long enough yet. And we're going to run across pieces that have been in here for long enough or more than long enough. And we're going to run across pieces that are just here as tumbling media. There's a lot of stuff here, little bits of petrified wood, bits of Jasper, bits of banded iron that are too small to do anything with, and I just use them as tumbling media. So here's another piece of petrified wood. I would say, I mean, it's got a big fissure here, but I'm never going to get rid of that. So I would say, on the whole, that is ready to go on. Another piece of petrified wood. I'm going to put this one back in the barrel and let it tumble some more. Petrified wood again. Look at the colors in that. Look at, you got the entire rainbow there. That's why they call it Arizona Rainbow Petrified Wood. Again, I'm sure this came from the Dobell Ranch. So that's beautiful. Wow, that's beautiful. And I would say it's ready to move on. It's very smooth, very smooth. So that's moving on. What we got here? We got some banded iron, a thin slab of banded iron. This one's got a lot more hematite in it than the last one. It's mostly dark gray, black, but it's got some interesting, cool colors in it too, in the Jasper layers, and it's very smooth. I've been experimenting with tumbling thin slabs, and it's working out great. I like the results. So that's ready to move on. Getting dry again down here. This is a piece of Four Peaks amethyst that my buddy Jim sent me. This is definitely ready to move on. I mean, it's still a little rough down here at this end, but I will never get rid of that. They were very rough, a lot of these crystals at the base, so it's got a few rough spots yet up here, down here. But really, I could tumble these away till nothing and never get rid of those rough spots entirely. But most of the crystal is very, very smooth, so that's ready to move on. We got here some more petrified wood. You know what? I'm going to tumble that some more. Brutally honest, I don't think it's ready. This is some interesting chert that I found in Wyoming that has a rind of red and yellow jasper in it. And it's very cool, I think. So this stuff also, this chert tumbles up really great. So it doesn't take that long. And that's pretty smooth. I think that's ready to move on. We'll put that in the bucket. Another piece of banded iron. Very cool looking. But I can feel with my thumb that it's not quite ready to move on. Yeah, so we got some more. By the looks of it, that's not ready to move on. This is petrified wood. Ooh, close, but no cigar. It's got a really rough area right there. So we'll put that back in the tumbler. This is a weird rock I found in Wyoming. I am not certain what it is, but it has a lot of super fine red and black layering in it. I guess it could be banded iron. Doesn't really feel heavy enough to be banded iron. But anyway, this has not been in the tumbler all that long, and I think it needs to tumble some more. Here's a big chunk of petrified wood. And yeah, it's not ready either. It needs to go in there for a little while longer. Here's some red jasper my buddy Jim sent me. This stuff was heavily fissured, brecciated, whatnot. It was also just very rough when I got it, so it took a long time in rough grit to get it rounded off nice. I think this is as good as I'm going to get it. I don't think I can get it any better than that without tumbling it away to nothing, so that's going in the bucket. Here's a nice piece of multicolored jasper that I found in Wyoming. This side has some pits in it, but they're pretty deep. I don't think I can tumble those out. This side's pretty darn good. And it's good looking too. I think this one's ready, because I don't think I can really get rid of those pits, which are really the only flaw left in it. So, into the bucket. Some more petrified wood. This needs to tumble some more. This one. That's ready. That could go in. What do we got here? Oh, wow. Yeah, look at the pattern in that. That is some more crazy, colorful petrified wood I got at the Dobell Ranch. So that is turning out nice, but it is still pretty rough in places, so it's going to have to tumble some more. Uh, Here's a big piece of petrified wood. I was hoping it would be more colorful. Probably the patterns are not showing up all that well on camera. It does have some like red plumy stuff in it, but it's more subtle than I thought it would be. It's not ready either, so that can go back in there. Ooh, speaking of petrified wood, here's a really interesting piece I found on my own property in Arizona. Yeah, I have property only about 30 miles from the Petrified Forest National Park. I find great petrified wood on my own property all the time. And here's a piece I found out there. Orange, red, sort of butterscotch, white. You know, it's got brown. It's got the whole rainbow of colors in it. It's not quite ready. It's very rough in spots. So this needs to go back and tumble some more. But it is coming along because it was really rough and angular when I put it in. So it's coming along. Let's see here. Here's some banded iron. That needs to tumble some more. It's still rough. Ooh. Yeah, look at this piece of petrified wood. That's got like some neon orange stuff in it, some black moss, some yellows. Oh, and this side's all sort of gray blue. That's really pretty. That's really pretty. And I think it is ready to move forward. Cool. Let's see. That is some more banded iron. Yeah, not banded Jasper. That's kind of rough in spots. That can stay back in the tumbler. More of that blue, gray, red petrified wood I got from the Dobell Ranch. This needs to tumble some more. Here's another piece of that chert with the colorful rind. I think that's ready. That's very smooth. Very smooth. Let's see what we got. Oh, now we're getting into some interesting stuff. We got some tiger iron here. Let's see. I bought a big slab of tiger iron at the Rock Shed in Keystone, South Dakota, and I cut some slabs off it. This is an end piece, so it's kind of convex there, but it was very rough. It was very lumpy, and it's been smoothed out something wonderful. And the flat side, well, it is just gorgeous, and the edges are nice. See that shimmer? I can never remember what that's called. It's some French word that I can't pronounce anyway. But that's amazing. That is ready to move on. And I got another slab of it here off the same piece. And this one leaves out of here. This one, this side's really nice and smooth. This side, not so much, but I don't know if I can do anything with that. Clearly, this is the money side on this piece. This side's definitely ready. This side, I'm afraid I could tumble this away and not fix that side. So we'll move this on. Yeah, there's a lot of tumbling media in here, but I'm sure there's a lot of rocks underneath it here. Here's another piece of that Four Peaks amethyst. Yeah, I'm going to move that on, even though it's got some rough areas, just because I know those rough areas go in deep. I can see how deep the pits are, how deep the fissures are. I basically, tumble this away to nothing to get it beautiful. And, well, it's going to be beautiful anyway. So here's a big chunk of petrified wood that's really kind of bland and plain. It's not ready to move on anyway. It may never be ready to move on. We'll just keep that in here as tumbling media. We'll throw that back in the drum. Here's a much more colorful piece of petrified wood. It's also not ready to move on, but boy, look at the vivid orange in that. I hope that's showing up. It is vivid. Vivid orange. Oh, the hawks are just making a racket out there today. Some more petrified wood here. Oh, this is not ready to move on. And more vivid orange in it, along with yellow, black, gray. It's like even purple. But that's not ready to move on yet. Another piece of that chert. That stuff smooths out really quick. That's ready to go. Some of this chert has not been in here for long, but I'll tell you what, it is super smooth. So we're going to move that on. Piece of banded Jasper. thin piece. That is nice. That's ready to go. Ooh. Here's some wackadoodle Jasper agate, or Jasper agate, I guess would be the name for it, that I found out in Wyoming. I mean, there's a huge, like 4-pound nodule of it. I cut a few small pieces off of it, and because it's way too big to tumble. And wow, that turned out nice. It's got like an S-shaped channel of chalcedony going through it that's nice and transparent, translucent. I hope you can see the light coming through. So that's cool. It's like Superman emblem. So that's cool. Red on one side, purple on the other, or maybe you could call it yin yang, one or the other. But this is super smooth and ready to move on. Some kind of Jasper, red, orange, black. A little rough though. I think we'll put that back in this tumbler drum. Got some more. Looks like petrified wood here. That's got some black moss in it too. In the agatized part. I'd say that's ready to move on. Here's a pretty blank piece of agate. I think I just threw this in as tumbling media, and I'm going to throw it back in the drum because it's pretty blank. And here's another blank piece of petrified wood. Nothing fancy about it. I'll throw it back in here as tumbling media. Let's see. Speaking of petrified wood, here's another piece. Oh, so close, but I think I'm going to put it back in the drum and let it tumble some more. Oh, here's another piece of that funky church. This piece I don't think is ready. It's got a rough spot right there. Corners are still kind of sharp. I'm going to put that back in the drum. Ooh, look at this. That piece of petrified wood. Oh, look at the electric orange colors in it. Wow, I hope that is coming through. I may line up some of these and take pictures of them at the end of the video. Closer up pictures so you can see some of the colors. That is never going to tumble out, that area right there. Otherwise, I'd say it's pretty smooth. Oh, wow, almost fortification on that side right there. That's cool. So I'm going to move that one forward. Another piece of petrified wood back in the drum. Petrified wood. This looks like another piece I got on my own property. I would say this one is ready to move forward. A big chunk of that blue and red and multicolored petrified wood I got from the Dobell Ranch. That is ready to... Nah, no it's not. It's got a couple rough spots. Okay, that one can go back in the drum. This big thing down here. Looks like more banded iron. Yeah, banded iron. This was pretty darn smooth. This one's ready to move forward. Okay, and that's, that's about it. Maybe there's a few small pieces in here. I'll poke through it and pull them out. I think most of what's left in here is just tumbling media. Oh, wait a minute. There's a couple more pieces of the Four Peaks amethyst, and I'd say they are both ready to go. I mean, that one has a huge, deep pit in it, but I will never tumble that out. So, but that's why I want to put these through the ultrasonic to get the grit out of. So I think that's all the highlights. There's a little piece of tiger iron that broke off at some point. It only could be tumbling media now, unless I want to use it to make a tiny little cab for a ring or something. But I will poke through this stuff, which is, really just tumbling media at this point, for anything that isn't tumbling media or is especially pretty, and decide which bucket it needs to go into. And then I'll give you a look at some of the prettiest stuff that I pulled out that I think is ready to move on. And then we'll refill the big drum over here and get it spinning again. So let me just finish poking through here and we'll do that. All right, so here's sort of the highlights. I mean, there's a lot of other rocks in here, a lot of other pretty rocks, but I think these are amongst the most beautiful. There's one piece I found hiding underneath all of the tumbling media in there that I forgot was in there. This is mookaite. This side is really rough, but I know that side's never going to clean up. This was an end cut. But this side, well, this is the money shot, obviously, and that side is really nice and smooth, so I'm going to move it forward. Got the Four Peaks amethyst, got some really just amazingly colorful. Petrified wood here, purple, agate, Jasper agate with the Superman symbol in it, tiger iron. Oh, here's that agate. Looks, I swear that the more I look at that, the more it looks like an Indian headdress. You know, like on a mannequin head. That is cool. And another piece of really colorful petrified wood and some banded jasper, or that's banded iron, I guess. So yeah, so I think these are all ready to go, as well as these. These are ready to go to medium grit, and there's still a bunch of stuff in here that needs to tumble some more. So I'm gonna put the tumbling media back in here, and we will top this off with some more rocks that need to be tumbled. So let me go find some more rocks to tumble. I'm going to put these away in the water before they dry out. All right, so I've got all of the ones that didn't make the cut and the polish and the tumbling media back in the drum, and it's only about half full. So I think there's room to put in some more stuff here. These are some of the rocks I propose to put in. We may actually need more than this. I don't know, but let me wet them down and show you why I like them. First and foremost, here's the other half of that really cool agate that has like the Indian headdress pattern on it. So, yeah, see that? That fit right on there like so. Well, here's the other half of it, and I think that's pretty cool. So we're going to put that in there and see how this half tumbles up. Since this half tumbled up really great. Piece of super colorful, plumy petrified wood. Here's another piece of that Jasper agate that had the Superman pattern in it. This one has a line of chalcedony that goes in a strange pattern like a snake through it. So we'll see how that tumbles up. Got some really flamey banded iron here. I mean, this looks like a rock that's on fire. Let me zoom in. I should have zoomed in earlier. Sorry. So yeah, this has got quite an incredible pattern, colors of orange, yellow, red in it amongst the bands of hematite. We'll see how that tumbles up. Parts of it may break off, but it'll just become tumbling media. Looks like another piece of petrified wood I found on my own property. And the one that was in there is tumbling up really nice, so we'll throw that one in. It's 1, 2, 3 pieces of red jasper that my buddy Jim sent me. These are going to take a long time, seeing as how angular they are. And I'll tell you what, they're going to turn the slurry in their blood red too as they're tumbling. But we'll throw these 3 pieces in. A piece of banded iron with really weird fault patterns in it, where the bands have been broken and displaced and then welded back together. So it's very cool. I think that's going to turn out interesting once it's tumbled. A couple pieces of petrified wood. This one's pretty thin. We'll see if it survives tumbling with those big rocks in there. Here's a thicker piece of the same stuff. Pretty colorful. Hopefully that will survive. A piece of really brecciated, multicolored jasper. My buddy Jim didn't think this thing was tumble. He thought it would just fall apart. But I tried a small piece of it. It held together. So we're going to try this big end cut and see how it does. Hopefully it will come out looking gorgeous without breaking up. Just some more petrified wood. I don't know if that pattern is showing up in there. Oh my goodness, look, that color's in there. Holy cow. And another piece, got lots of orange, red, sort of grays. And yeah, I guess it's not really transparent chalcedony. I guess it's just gray. But yeah, we'll see how that holds up. So I would say we have a load in the drum now. And there's plenty of tumbling media down in there. So let me get some water and some grit in there, and we will get this thing spinning again. Yeah, I didn't know if I'd selected enough rocks, but I'd say we've got a load there. I'd say that's a load. So let me get some water in there. That is probably about enough right there. And it takes a lot of grit. 12-pound tumbler. I'm going to put 12 spoonfuls of grit in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Man, I go through a lot of rough grit. Fortunately, the other stages don't take nearly as much. I get grit all over my fingers. They were wet. Get it off the rim so I can seal it up. All right, so seal it up, and we'll get it spinning again. And in a couple of weeks, a lot of those rocks that I didn't think were ready to make the cut probably will make the cut. So we'll check in a couple of weeks on what's going on in here again and see what we can pull out next time and what has to go back in and what we can add to it, because I have a lot of rocks that I need to tumble, probably 100 pounds or so. I'm going to be tumbling for a long time, even with this big barrel here. So let me get this back on the tumbler and get it going. Okay, let's get this bad boy, oh, you're heavy, back on here. And get it spinning again. Now let me go deal with those rocks soaking in water in the bucket. I got to do something with those. All right, so I'm going to take some of these and put them in the ultrasonic tumbler, or in the ultrasonic cleaner, not tumbler. Can't talk today. And I got so many here, they're going to have to go through in a couple of batches, I'm thinking. Yeah. So that's probably, I got room for a couple of small ones in here. Yeah. Maybe another small one. There we go. And maybe we need a little bit more water too, because this one's not quite submerged. Oh, these are going to be so pretty. They look this good wet when they're just out of rough. Can you imagine what they're going to look like after they are polished? All right, so let me turn this on. I'm going to give it about, normally I do about 40 minutes. So I'll do about 40 minutes. I'll put a few drops of Dawn in here. Distribute the soap a little bit. And oh yeah, I see grit coming off of this. I see grit coming off those rocks. Let me see if I can zoom in and show you what I mean. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not. But yeah, there's grit coming off of them. The ultrasonic's cleaning out the nooks and crannies. The water's getting cloudy already, so that's good. That's exactly what I want. I want to clean these rocks up. And then I'll store them in some clean container until I have a tumbler ready to do them in medium grit. So looks like I got at least one more load in here, and then these can go away into storage until I'm ready to do medium. All right, well, that's what I'm tumbling today. Kind of a long "What am I tumbling today" video. I hope it was. I hope you think it was worth watching this long video. Leave a comment. Let me know if you like longer or shorter videos. Yeah, but if you did like this one, give me a like, give me a thumbs up, and subscribe to see my future videos. There'll be more What Am I Tumbling videos. One of my tumblers is almost done with polish. So when that's done, we'll have a look at what's going on in it. So subscribe to see those future videos, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching this one. Bye.